It's all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He's the author of the book Survival First, no other than Mr. Alexander Carlos Concepcion. Welcome to Book 101, Mr. Alexander. Can you please introduce more about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Alexander Concepcion. I run a small real estate company here in Texas where I help people find apartments to rent. And around COVID, I was losing all of my clients all at one go. And I was thinking, I was freaking out, thinking that I was about to lose the business that I worked so hard to build. It's a business that gave me freedom and sovereignty and life on my own terms. And I was worried that COVID was going to be the end of that. And the opposite happened, and I wound up making a lot of money in that year. And at the same time, I'm looking at all these businesses around me closing, and I'm thinking, why me? Why am I surviving? Why am I doing well when a lot of people aren't? So the simple question came to my mind, which was, why do businesses die? And that question led me on a 4-year book journey that became Survival First.
So, Mr. Alexander Concepcion, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world. What is the rebel entrepreneur and how do they differ from traditional business thinkers?
For me, the rebellion part of this book is about people who didn't want to go down the traditional path of corporate life, career life, and wanted to do something else. And for me, for a lot of people, their businesses are their path to sovereignty and life on their own terms. And that's what it had been for me and still is today. And so that's what I believe the rebel part of this book is.
So, what core message do you hope readers walk away with after finishing the book?
That survival is a choice. Every day you wake up and decide you're going to work on your business, you're going to build, you're going to create and solve interesting problems and bring cool stuff to the world. You are surviving. And the book is largely about what are the things that make you not want to make that choice? What are the things that make you say, no, I'm not going to do this anymore? And there's so many things in the world of business that go wrong, from the world around us to how we build and design our businesses to ourselves and how we show up in our businesses and the decisions that we make and the mistakes that we make, and understanding why things go wrong, learning from other people's experiences, and taking value from the stories of others that didn't make it. And how could we apply these lessons to ourselves so we don't fall into those same traps?
So, Mr. Alexander, what personal experiences shape the ideas and strategies shared in this guide?
So, my business is called Taco Street Locating, which means I have very likely the only taco themed real estate company in Texas. It's a fun, silly, ridiculous brand. Like it's an extension of my personality. And I did that because it was fun and ridiculous, and it was something I would do. But more practically, there's something, I think there's a really big mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make is copying everyone else. And what happens when you have everyone copying everyone else is everyone becomes a commodity. So everyone becomes infinitely replaceable. And that chapter, I explained why competition in business is not real because we have choice in what we buy, in what we listen to, and the stores that we go to, and the bars that we drink at. And the risk to the business is not that one bar gets beat by another bar, but that I choose to go to a different bar or to not go to a bar at all. So competition isn't real, but replacement is. And I have a job. If I'm going to try to survive, I have to stand out and create my own monopoly. So I'm hard to replace. So I think there's a lot of things people do that seem safe, which is just see what everyone else is doing and just copy what they're doing. And in reality, it's the most dangerous thing to do because the more you fit in, the less likely you're going to be chosen and the more likely you're going to be replaced. So that's why brand and reputation are so important because those are the things that make you stand out.
Certainly. So let's talk about content and strategy of the book. What does survival first mean in the world of business and why is it essential?
It's essential because most businesses don't make it. I don't know what the numbers are. No one really does, but everyone knows that most businesses don't make it, most entrepreneurs don't make it, and you never find out why. There's all these stories that just get lost in the shuffle, and instead we focus on the people that do make it. And there's a lot to learn from people who do make it, but there's so many stories that get lost and so many lessons and wisdom that gets lost. And there's so much to learn from those stories because ultimately what we're doing is trying to make a lot of decisions with unknown consequences in a very complex world. And it's a book about decision making. How do we make decisions under uncertainty with incomplete information and survive in that way? And how do you make decisions that can decapitate your downside, keep you safe, but still give you access to the upside instead of strangling it by being paranoid?
So, what should entrepreneurs balance risk taking with long term sustainability?
Yeah, so for me, there's only one metric that matters in business, and that's return on energy. And energy is the thing that makes you want to do the business in the first place. You could be profitable, you could be making money, but if you're not, if you're miserable and you hate your life, even though you're profitable, then to me, that's not surviving. Surviving is about enjoying your life, having a life, and living on your terms. And if you're sacrificing all of your life and you're miserable to run a business, that's not, at least for me, that's not a trade-off that I'm going to do. Because entrepreneurship is fundamentally a human experience. And I think that gets lost in the shuffle, in the jargon, and everything you see in LinkedIn. is just forgetting about the human who's powering the business with their own human force and energy.
Certainly, Mr. Alexander. So, what are some common myths about entrepreneurship that you aim to debunk in the book?
Oh man. Uh, well, I did my rants on competition. I think that's a big one. Uh, but not something that I'm trying to debunk, but there is, I think, a radical frame that changes everything about business, which is thinking of your business as a relationship. So you, the business owner, has an intimate relationship with your business. And to me, the most important risk to consider is not that you run out of money, not that your business partners flake out on you, but that you get into a bad relationship with your business. Because it goes back to, sure, maybe you're profitable, maybe you have a lot of status and admiration of your peers, but you're miserable because of your business. That's not a good relationship, at least to me. And I think there's a lot of people, even a lot of successful entrepreneurs, who are like surface successful, but behind the scenes, they're miserable. And I think a lot of people need permission to even break up with their business, whether that means selling it, changing their relationship with their business, maybe as taking a different role, or even shutting it down. And that's the final irony of this book is maybe for you as an entrepreneur, as a creative, as a problem solver, to survive, your business has to go.
So, let's talk about the mindset and resilience, Mr. Alexander. What mindset shifts are crucial for entrepreneurs who want to thrive, not just survive?
So in the book, I'm always looking at both risk and opportunity together because none of us would be entrepreneurs if we only thought about risk, and we would just be paralyzed with paranoia if we only thought about the downside. So I think there's this important mentality, not just for, it's mostly just for sanity, because if you're just focusing on downside, you're going to drive yourself crazy. It's not fun. So being able to invert something from a negative to a positive, or even from a positive to a negative, being able to go back and forth and think about like what are the upsides that I'm not looking at. So like right now for me, a lot of my energy is going towards learning how I could use AI for my business because I see a lot of opportunity and upside in making my business a lot sharper, a lot more exciting, a lot more output for a lot more for a lot less input, which is exciting to me.
Certainly.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, so it's just being able to flip back and forth from positive to negative to challenge your own ideas, to like take the opposite position, to stress test yourself. And if you find yourself overdosing on risk, just flip the script and think about what opportunities am I not giving proper like respect to? What doors should I be knocking on?
So, Mr. Alexander, can you share a moment from your own journey where you had to put survival first?
Um, man, it's back to COVID. It was um, kind of do or die. If I didn't figure out how to kind of turn my business around, then I was going to lose everything. And I really ramped up the marketing when a lot of people were going on defense. And I leverage the reality that the nature of the business I'm in is a fundamental need, and people need the service that I'm offering. People need apartments to live in, and that's just fact. So, just by the nature of my business, I was well positioned to survive in an economic downturn because of the nature of what the product I work with is a necessity. Because people need places to rent, need places to live. So I discovered a lot of strengths in my business that I didn't know that I had.
Very well said. Mr. Alexander, very well said. So let's talk about the application and legacy of the book. What is the first action step you'd recommend to a reader after finishing your book?
Oh man, uh, journal a lot, maybe go to therapy. Uh, I'm not joking here because it's a lot of just confronting darkness in yourself, in your business, and it could be a psychic overwhelm to confront so much risk and darkness. Um, but I do take the reader through a lot of like exercises within the chapters, like what to do. Uh, so there's a methodical process within the book on just what to do. Um, if people are interested in it, it's survivalfirstbook.com. It's on Amazon. Uh, but I want the book to get people to ask interesting questions about their businesses, about themselves as entrepreneurs, as humans, as creators, and challenge themselves.
Yes, people, challenge yourself. Put up your
Mhm.
first business and let's see and read first, survival first. So, how can new entrepreneurs use your framework to build something that truly lasts?
I don't know if I would even say this is for new entrepreneurs. I think this is for entrepreneurs who already have businesses that are up in the air and they're just trying to survive. They're trying to not crash. Whereas if
Yes,
you're just getting started, just keep tinkering and find something that works and do a lot of it.
certainly. So, Mr. Alexander, what would be your advice for those people out there want to survive their business?
It's a survival's a choice. It's understand where your energy is coming from, why you're doing this, and really tap into that source of energy and preserve it.
So, what will be your short term and long term goals in writing?
Just meet interesting people, knock on interesting doors, expose myself to asymmetry and see how life unfolds based on who I meet. That's really what the goal is. What the goal of the book is just to have interesting conversations, meet new people, and see what opportunities arise from there.
Good luck to your goals, Mr. Alexander, and thank you for your advice. In a rapidly changing world, how can a rebel entrepreneur stay relevant without losing their core?
Thank you.
Yes, so that is my question, Mr. Alexander. In a rapidly changing world, how can rebel entrepreneurs stay relevant without losing their core?
Yeah, do things that no one else does.
I think Mr. Alexander is disconnected, people, but I'm inviting you to please do listen to my 4 episodes of my feature author of the month of March, Miss Angela Henry, award winning and best selling author. We did our last episode the other day, and we are talking about all her books. how Miss Angela Henry survived as an author, as well as becoming a best-selling and award-winning author. So please do listen. Book 101 review of my feature author of the month of March. So let's see if Mr. Alexander will come up again or connect with us. And of course, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, Food 101, in its fifth season, people, fifth season with Chef Alessandro, one of the specialty chef in one of the five-star hotel in downtown Toronto. Please do listen to our latest episode. We are reading our letters senders all over the world. So please do listen Food 101 wherever you listen your podcast. So people, I think Mr. Alexander is disconnected. Please do support him. Survival first. This is the first book of Mr. Alexander about survival first, that are talking about the business itself, how to survive your business in the midst of pandemic like coronavirus. So in closing to my interview, again, please do support Mr. Alexander Concepcion, because if you support him, more and more and more empowering business books to come. So, Modicum people, see you soon.